come to Leo rising.
Leo.
See, I'm putting my crown on because Leo is the sun, the king of the beasts, rules Leo, the lion. So watch out for Leos. They have the hair, that thick mane of glossy hair that they're flicking to impress you, because Leos really do like to be impressive, and they're very, very sensitive, mind you, and they love children, they love abundance, they love, to be that center of the home and that center of creativity. They're also a bit of a gambler too sometimes, because they believe that they're right and they're going to win. So there you go, Leo.
Definitely. So Leo rising. So Leo rising, obviously the sun is the planet that rules Leo. It's the only planet that rules Leo, or doesn't rule two like the other planets. So the first house, the Trikona houses, which are the first house, the fifth house, and the ninth house, become very auspicious for people who are Leo rising. These are very good houses for them. The fifth house, which is to do with creativity, progeny, your talents, self-expression, really are really favored for people who are Leo rising, because this house is going to be ruled by Jupiter. And also the ninth house, which is the house of spiritual development, it's the house of the guru, it's the house of travel, which is also ruled by Mars, also becomes favored also for people who are Leo rising. Planets like Venus and planets like Saturn tend to have more of a difficult time with people who are Leo rising, because Venus is the ruler of the third house, and this is a house that, again, it's a house of growth, but it can be a difficult house because it's something that you're constantly working at. And Saturn can also be a very difficult planet also too, because Saturn is automatically going to become the ruler of the sixth house, which is the house of health, house of enemies, and the seventh house also as well, which is to do with relationships. So these two houses, which are ruled by Saturn, will definitely come under scrutiny for people who are Leo rising. So very often health issues, dealing with enemies, maybe enemies who are in authoritative positions as well, because it's Saturn ruled, also can become a difficulty. And also we also have to remember that the sun, the sun and Saturn, and again in the mythology there's a very strong mythology about them. This is a story about father and son, so it's very much about power struggles, authority, and who they are in the world. So and again, if you want to know more about mythology, do go to the website Circle of Divine Astrology, and there's much information also about the myth, because mythology gives us a real deep understanding of how the nature of the planets and how these houses definitely come under scrutiny. So they give us a good understanding about that. So sixth houses and seventh houses become very much, and also Mercury also to some degree also too, because Mercury becomes the ruler of the second house, which is to do with money. And when we're looking at the second house, we want something a little bit stable, whereas Mercury is very dual oriented. He's got this dual nature. It can be very chameleon, so sometimes the second house also becomes under scrutiny also